saying, we have to start with ourselves, take care of the family life, build up our families, build up our extended families, and then build up our communities and in the world at large, because Islam didn't come just for Muslims. It came for the whole world. And I was thinking the other day, like, what our Abu was able to do, we have to carry on that torch. And we can't let little things hinder us from moving forward. We still have to move forward. We still have a lot of work we need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at my immediate family and thinking to myself, like, okay, my family have to get on board with what Abu wanted to do. And that's been my motivation. Like, how am I going to get my kids, my wife, my Begum, to move on that mission so that we can help out the community, so that we can help out the world, because the world needs it. The world needs Islam, and all this stuff that's happening all over the world, all the stuff that's happening overseas in Palestine, like, you got evil people out there, and somehow, some way, we have to become one united community for the entire world. So I'm definitely ready to get to work, man. Inshallah.
I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before too, man. Is like accountability, but also letting petty things go for the bigger mission, for for the bigger future of what we have ahead. Our disagreements between me and you shouldn't stop a better life for our families to be able to grow and live together in peace with love and harmony. You know what I mean? Because we might have butted heads, or we fell out about some money, or we fell out because this was mine and I said it was yours, whatever it may be. That shouldn't stop the progress. And I think a lot of times we get too caught up in ourselves and our egos, and we're not able to let that go for the bigger, better.
Yeah. Well, how do you get somebody to understand? Because one thing was said, that Islam was made for the world. It's um it's very beneficial. It helped and shaped and molded us, even through the ups and downs and the tests and trials and the mistakes and mishaps in life that we have all been through. Um, how do you get somebody? Because people have to. Does everybody have to go through a tough time period to say, all right, maybe I need to do something different? Or what about somebody that you're saying that you're trying to give a? I'm gonna use an analogy. I want you to drink. I'm gonna give you 2 cups of water. One of the origins of the water comes from a sewer transferring plant. The water was filthy. I filtered it with all types of chemicals and everything else to make it clear. Other one I got from a spring, from the spring water, and it was naturally clear from the mountains on down. I got 2 cups. Both of them look clear. How do you get the person to drink I'm using it as an analogy. How do you get the person to drink
I get what I
pure?
get what you're saying. I think the biggest thing is the invitation, right? Is you can talk all day. I can sit here and explain to you a million details, but if I never close, I never get to sell, right? If I never give you the opportunity. So it's the same thing when you're talking to somebody about Deen, or if you're talking about Islam or whatever it may be. Until they receive that invitation, you never really closed. You just told them why they were wrong or why you were right. And it happens every day in life. We
Yeah.
do it to each other. You don't even realize every conversation that we have is a dialogue of me trying to be right and you trying to be right. But if you never close, then y'all both walk away empty handed.
Mhm.
That person didn't take their shahada, nor did you get the barakah benefit of the giving them deen, because you never actually gave them an invitation. You just told them, "Oh yes, this is such a beautiful religion, and Islam is this, and when you change your ways, you feel like this, and your heart becomes light, or whatever it may be." But you never actually invited them. And once you do that invitation, okay, I would like to bring you into my home. I would like to show you how we live. I would like to show you what Islam is about. I think that would change, the direction of things, because otherwise it just seems like an argument, or it seems like I'm telling you that my lifestyle is better than yours. But when you show people, they feel it. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of understanding when you show somebody as opposed to telling them. It's like I could tell you a million different ways to make $1 million, but until I take you on my journey, put you in my car, drive you to my business, and show you how to conduct business, and show you that the business is real as well. Not just telling you all the great stories of how we came about. No, I show you that this business is real. I show you Islam. I show you the reason why our dress code is the way it is. I show you the etiquettes and the mannerisms of our children. I show you how our elders are supposed to be taken care of. And that I don't care how what you came from, you're gonna relate to it. Everybody has a heart. You're gonna feel it. You're
Mm.
gonna see, man, this is I would love for my mother and my father to live like this. I
Yeah.
would love for my children to grow up in an environment where they don't have to worry about sex, drugs, music, TV, fahashi. Everywhere you turn, every corner, they're telling you to go do something. Now, even if you like that lifestyle, just like we were talking about when doing certain things or whatever, if you like to drink, smoke, whatever it may be, you still don't want that for your kids. You know that it's incorrect. So I think until you actually show people, you know what I mean, give them that invitation, it's just going to be a conversation. It's just going to be a good topic. But you invite them into your lifestyle. And we have to learn how to invite into Islam. It shouldn't be foreign. It shouldn't be scary. It shouldn't be a topic like, oh man, the guy with the big beard or, dress or the thobe on. No, let me explain to you the reason why. Do you see these dudes running around here with dresses and, weird behind clothes? We're the opposite of that. You don't want your children to be like that. And there's so many people out there that feel the same way, but they don't have a voice. They don't have a platform. So they fall into the abyss. They fall behind the scenes. You know, they just stay quiet because they don't have a mass or majority to speak their heart or follow their heart. And like everything in life, that's like with everything. That's not even just talking about Islam or whatever it may be. It's with politics as a whole. There's a lot of people that don't agree with politics, but they don't feel like what they could do is going to offer enough to change it. So they sit back and be quiet. So I think that invitation is very important to invite people to actually show them, hey man, we can set up this meeting, or you're invited to come over here and learn about Deen, and you're invited to have a conversation with me. We can talk about it. I'm not just going to bash you on your religion. I'm not just going to bash you on your way of life and tell you why you're wrong. No, let me show you the beauty of your religion and my religion, and you actually see how much they're alike.
Mhm. Like, yeah, I mean, like you gave a breakdown of your scenario, Ishmael, and you say you have this filtered water and you have this spring water. Um, I think, to piggyback on what Salahudeen is saying is, how do you have someone drink from that other cup, right? How do you have them drink from that cup? And you have them drink from the cup by drinking from that cup that you filtered,
Mm.
right? That cup that you filtered, that you trust in the process of what you've done to filter the cup. You trust in that process. You trust in that lifestyle that you have lived that has given you not only success, but success for people around you. And a, not from a not from a, materialistic success. You may not have the best cars and clothes and all of those things or whatever, but from a spiritual success, that your life is better, that you feel better, that the things that you're doing in your everyday life that is benefiting your children on an emotional and spiritual level. That they're not dealing with problems where they have to go talk to psychiatrists or anything of that nature. They're not dealing with mental issues. And that right there is what you believe in when you know that someone has faith, that someone has deen. You're showing them that by drinking from that cup, and you invite them to drink from it as well. And when they're ready to take that sip, when they are ready to take that sip, they will take it because they've seen your example. So our examples are the most important. It's how Rasul Sallam had spread Deen throughout the world, was through his example, with how he lived, on a daily basis. And it's how our teacher, Moshi Kamo, has shown us to live as well by taking us out of those streets, taking our parents per se out of the ghettos and things of that nature, and establishing places where we can practice. That is the cup. That is the filter. And now we have spring water on a daily basis. No pun intended if you lived in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But those are just the things that we have to do, and that's what we have to get better at. I mean, I've worked at jobs. Me and Salahuddin have worked at jobs together where, we've worked with a bunch of people, and they've come up to us and just on the smallest thing. Ramadan is always that conversation starter, right? And it's coming up. Ramadan is always that conversation starter of that discipline of training yourself for not just food, but other things to be better, to feel better, to live better, and know that you can live without these materialistic things and, be closer to your family, be closer to God, and be closer to your community.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was thinking, like we've been saying all along, you start with your immediate family, you build up you strengthen your family, that thing that you were saying, Rafik, about having your kids in your life and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
that's huge. And then when you invite people to your home is satisfactory. Your home is, a pleasant environment for people. So people will come and see it and be like, okay, this is nice. So then you take it to the next level, your community. Now your community, you build that up. You get nice places, nice things. It don't have to be, super duper nice, but clean, respectable. The people are nice. The people are warm. The people are inviting. So that when they come, when you invite people to see the cup of water that you have, like, look, this is the water I'm showing you. They can look at it, taste it, drink it, be like, oh, okay, this is nice. I like this. I like what I see. The thing with our sister Kina, what she's doing with her husband, like that's like powerful stuff. But we just
It
gotta
is.
keep expanding and keep building it, making our communities where it's that spring, that natural spring water that Ismail was comparing. It's not that filtered stuff. It's beautiful, drink clean, crisp water that you can take. And when people see that, that's how Islam grew from the beginning anyway. That's how Rasulullah Islam started it.
Sorry, son.
People that, and he didn't
and,
go out there preaching, they saw his example.
and it
And
becomes
then,
natural. It's
mhm,
not anything that you have to force. It's not like, oh, I got to convince you. They'll feel it.
yep,
That's the thing about truth. It sinks into your heart. You feel it. You don't have to be convinced. I don't have to show you 1,000 facts. I don't have to prove to you why you're wrong. That's why I say it should be inviting, because they should feel it. It should feel comfortable. It should be a natural conversation. It should
Yeah,
flow.
truth is proven. As
Yeah.
always,
You
truth
shouldn't have
is
to
always
think too
proven.
much. You shouldn't try to
Simple.
find the proper words. It'll just come off. And when you have that conversation naturally, don't try to, prep it too crazy or come up with what if they say this? What am I going to say back? No, let
Mhm.
it come. And let Allah Ta'ala guide your words. And it'll move. It'll like you said, the water, the stream will flow to their heart. And it'll connect with your heart, and your hearts will talk.
The
Truth is
wonderful thing
difficult.
about Islam
No, go ahead.
is, I was just saying, the wonderful thing about Islam is that it's a way of life. There is literally ev- every aspect of your life. There is a guide that explains how you should do it, from sales to business to relationships to marriage to your children to praying. Every last thing has a way that you should do it, and multiple ways that you should do it. But it's easy for you. It's inviting for you. Allah makes it easy. God makes it easy for you to accept these things and gives you a way to live your life. So that's why it's so amazing. You can't run into something that you're saying, "Oh my God, what do I do now?" Because the guide is there. The guide is there
absolutely.
through Holy Quran and Hadith. The guide is always there and available for you. And we'll touch a little bit, definitely more on that throughout the questions that you have.
I was thinking about more so with this, and what makes me kind of cringe a little bit with marriage and relationships, and some of the people that you hear online, the gurus, and I don't like talking about. I don't want to talk about anybody. People may have have studied and got doctrines in the field. They may be well educated and went to school for a certain amount of years. And, became
one thing that I've learned, man, is you can have all the knowledge in the world. You can't teach people skills, man.
uh, yeah,
You either have it or you don't.
yeah,
You know, and it's the way of the world. Everything communicates, whether you hear it or not. From the stars, the sun, the moon, the birds, the leaves, the trees, everything communicates. And until you open up your heart, you're gonna miss out on that. You know, it'll be a dead end conversation. It'll always be a blockage in the road. It'll always be an argument. It'll always be a disagreement. Love flows. It should
yeah.
come natural. It shouldn't be thought about.
Degrees are good to have.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely, definitely. No, in no way, form, or fashion are we saying don't go to school. Stay cool.
Yeah, degrees are excellent to have. Yeah.
If you do
So
go to school, go to IQOU college.
there you
Right.
go.
You
There you
know.
go. Get a degree from IQ or U College.
But don't
Mhm.
don't let it trump your ability to think. You understand? That's what a lot of people fail to realize is that you think you have to fit, like we was talking about, until one size fits all. Once I learn this, I have to. No, let it flow. You know, if you agree with something, figure out why you agree with it. If you disagree with something, figure out why you disagree with it. But don't just, oh, I learned this, so this is what it is. No.
I see, I see where you're going, man. I see where you're going, man. Hope
I
nobody
do.
ain't trying to scheme nobody into not going to.
Yeah, I'm just ready to work, man. We got so much to do. We gotta, our family, especially our family. You know, the example that we have from Pops, from Mabu, we gotta we gotta become the leaders, man. We gotta step up and show, yo, let's get this community, let's get our families first. Like I was saying, let's get our families turned around or whatever, you know, get them on board, get them narrowed in, focused in, get this community focused in, and then let's start changing the world. Like Abby
I,
left a big shadow. Let's go out there and try to fill it.
there's one thing that what you just said is, but I don't, leadership can be taught. I think leadership can be taught, but you have to be charismatic too, and you got to understand. You want to lead and do certain things, and be a trailblazer. You have to find out what type of person is. It goes back to knowing yourself. You have to know who you are. You have
Mhm.
to really know who you are, and we all know in knowing ourselves. We know our creator. We learn our creator. We learn, you know, the relationship becomes more, dynamic. So, I mean, I, I wanted to hit a point on when you said, we have to lead. Give me an example, like give me break down leadership, like because leadership is there's so many things wrapped into it, becoming a very, very charismatic, um, effective leader. And I mean, what are some of the things that makes an effective leader?
So
uh,
my way of thinking was that, you know, we have the example of Rasulullah Sallallahu, and a lot of
So
us
so.
we don't read enough. So a lot of everything is visual. And there are other examples. There's other examples. A leader is going to go out there and show people how or what needs to be done, but he's going to be out there doing it. The example of Hazrat Yusuf, Prophet Joseph, when he went to prison. First thing he starts doing is just cleaning up the place, walking around, making the
Mm,
place clean. That's a leader. People see that like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you cleaning up a prison? This ain't your home. Wherever you're at, you can be clean. Like that doesn't change. You outside, you walking down the road. Okay, let me clean up here, and that builds. My
mm,
wife always talks about, you know, the broken window syndrome. You know, just anytime there's a broken window in the house, that just leads to other things. Oh, this is just a trash neighborhood. It's a trash building. I'm gonna throw trash here, and it just keeps compiling until whole place is a dump. But if people just taking that time, like, oh, let me fix this window, let me pick up this piece of trash, you lead people to become better. You know, so that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think what Zaid is speaking more so on the terms of that saying that leadership is not a title, it's a duty. Um,
mm.
and it's
Okay,
in what you do,
okay,
right? It's in your
yeah.
actions. And I mean, it's going to be given solely based off the fact of if people respect see your see your example and want to either follow it or learn more about it, right? And do more to help you out, come to help and assist, so things of that nature. So that's where that form of leadership actually, comes from. So I get what he's saying, when he's talking about leadership is doing the work,
Doing the work.
doing the work in that
Okay.
regard and just leading with those examples. Because that's what our father did. You know,
Yeah,
he led by example in that regard.
yeah. Now I
And
want to
I
hear
think
the. I
as
want to. I actually. I like the response because I'm gonna hold that thought, Sal. But I like the response, but I wanted to break that down because I didn't want that just to be said. You know, we have to lead. I wanted it to be said with some understanding, some context.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now, go ahead, Sal.
I would say great leadership comes from a great follower as well. You don't always have to take the lead. You should be able to big up the people around you enough and educate them enough that where sometimes they can, point you in the right direction as well. A leader is only as great as his followers, right? So if I'm always leading, what do you do in my absence?
Mm,
Someone else has to step up to lead.
mm,
So everyone in my group should be a leader, and I should lean on you. If I'm going, the wrong way, you should be able to, hey, no, let's do it like this. Rasulullah he counseled with
So.
his companions. Always. When he made decisions, he counseled with them. How do you think I should do this? He counseled with his wife a lot. How should I go about doing this? So you counsel with your individuals. I think it's very important to have a counselor, to have individuals that you confide in and lean on them as well. Because sometimes when you're just going so much in this direction, you miss the things from the left and the right that may be beneficial to everybody else. So a leader is only as great as his followers.
I agree. I agree. I mean, there's plenty of times where I'll be thinking about something, or I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead. I know my faults. I know where I can I can mess up. So a lot of times it's like, okay, what I need is someone over me, making sure I don't slip up and do crazy things, because my
It's
thought
kind of like
patterns are
earlier.
different than yeah, my thought patterns are different. The way I do things may be different than the way other people do things, and or the best way to do it. So that ability to be like, you know what, I don't know everything. There's some things that someone else knows that's better than me. I don't have to be the one out there saying, hey, this is the best way to do it. I can fall back, let someone else lead, and okay, yeah, you got a better idea. So I
The
think that's
most
a
the
good.
most beautiful thing too is when you're reminded of something that you taught, right? And to be able to take that reminder humbly. I learn from my kids, bro. I'll teach them something about Salat or whatever it may be, and then they may see me do it a little incorrectly. Abu, I thought you were supposed to do this.
Mm,
You have to humble yourself.
mm.
No matter where knowledge is coming from, you seek it. And I think that's one of the biggest things as a leader is to have that humility, to know that you don't have all the answers and let it come, let it flow. You can learn from children, you can learn from elders, you can learn from people that don't even walk the same faith as you if you listen more than you speak.
Excellent, excellent thoughts. I wanted to have that. I wanted to have that be said with, like I said again, with context, so that people can understand where, as individuals and as brothers, where we're coming from when we speak about what things that got to be done, work that got to be done, how we're going about doing it.
mm,
Um, so I don't know. I mean, we got to continue. We got to continue on. Like Zay said, it's got to be within our actions. Um, I do have some things in the works. Like I said, I can't speak on them because I haven't done what really needs to be done to make it happen. But for sure, y'all will be involved. For sure, y'all will be involved. So I'll be leaning probably on most of y'all to act as board members. So, but
The board.
yeah,
The
uh,
camp.
yeah. But close us out, man. Everybody, give me individually, your take. I don't do, you know, I, everybody. This is a new year, 2024. Some people do New Year's resolution. I think December 21st. I mean December 31st and January 1st. It's 24 hours in between. I mean, all of a sudden you're not going to become a super duper person that you wasn't in 2023. You know, you know what I'm saying? It's January 1st. Now it's January 5th, 6th, and on till 2025. But like just close out for us. Close out for us some things that you looking, you feel in your heart. Let your heart speak. Close it out. I mean, yeah, close us out. Each one of you.
Go ahead, Fake.
So it's gonna start with me. Um, yeah, man. So truthfully, with 2024 New Year, things like that, I thought about a lot of what you stated with, dedicating the podcast to, to Abby, to our father and things of that nature. And for me, I would love to just be able to get a lot into his studies, his books, a lot of stuff that he's left behind. Um, I was fortunate enough to not only sit down with him a lot of times with traveling and things like that or whatever. We used to travel together and when he took us out to California, I got a chance to drive him to places and it was like the best thing because I always wanted to do that. Like you drove me all the way out there when I couldn't drive or when I was too young to drive and I got a chance to do that with him. But he gave me a lot of knowledge on a lot of things from listening to a simple nasheed that we would listen to. And he'd give me the breakdown of how it came about and the meaning behind it. He gave me so much and really digging more deeper into that and giving a day in the life and a timeline of our father to my kids. My daughter never met him at all,
Mm.
right? But sharing those not only with just our family, but the world. He has a lot of information that is still that we haven't shared with people. And people ask, what did your father say to you? And you know, some of those are like times that we had personally. So we're not ready to share them yet. But those are things that I would want to not only share with just our family, but the world, because it can make a lot of people better and me better as well. So just in dedicating not only the podcast to him, but using his examples to hone in on the things that I want to do and I want to accomplish to go further with it. So that's my goal is to to bring that legacy of Khalifa Atiq to people, and people know. Believe me, I mean I've had conversations with people. They know, but really following his in his footsteps with a lot of things, and I have some things in the work. Obviously, I put a lot of work into September stage
Mm-hmm.
from beginning to end of giving how it was something that he wanted. Like he freely, what people don't know about September stage is that it was supposed to be a league. And that's how he wanted it. He wanted it to be a league that we went and played each other, a Muslim league that we went and we played each other. We haven't got there yet, but we are able to come from around the world for 2 days and play and pray together. So just building on that and adding more of what he's taught me into it on a regular basis. So hopefully I can do that.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
inshallah.
I think for me, my goals is looking at my Abu and the impact that he had, and a lot of it is mainly due because he took care of this community. He worked so hard for
Hmm.
this community. And a lot of people, even, not family members, but he called everyone son, like son, daughter, whatever.
Everyone, Ibn.
That's how he was. So a lot of people look up at him as a father figure. And the reason he's still loved today is because of the work he did for this community. So for me, it's more like, all right, yeah, whatever bumps and bruises that I went through, I'm still here, inshallah. And it's how can I now step into those, not fulfill those shoes. I think it'll take all of us, all of his kids to fulfill those
Hmm.
shoes, but to go out there and try to help this community as best as I can and get this community where he wanted it to go, where we dreamed about when we was walking on the land and it was only 5 or 6 structures and 5 or 6 houses and families to now where it's at. And now we're, all up and down the United States and across the world. So just try to move this community where he wanted to go and start going out to the world and telling the world about Islam, Deen of Islam. So that's my goals, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah, like you, just to piggyback on that, like being an asset for your community, being an asset for your community, available, um, useful and reliable. Those
Mm.
are those those are extremely keys. Like you're youthful and reliable, and you can be called on. One thing that we say in like the corporate world is you're marketable. You know, you're marketable. So become marketable in your community, in your families, and in your personal and personally. So hopefully, you know, we all can do that.
What you got, Sal?
They say be accountable. Be accountable. And that's key, man. It's just be accountable. Be accountable, be honest, be truthful. We touched on it lightly in the beginning of the podcast, and we were talking about family members or whatever it may be that you may have a problem, right? But we have an objective. And regardless of your problem, regardless of your issue, we have an objective. And I think we have to find that strength within ourselves to move past whatever we have personally and execute the goal at hand, you know? And that's with our family. Like you said, it starts with the family first. So you said that about 3 times. It starts with the family first, starts with the ones you love and with your community. But you have to be accountable and hold each other accountable, right? We have to stop being so sensitive where I can't correct you without you thinking that I'm trying to come down on you. And you shouldn't be so big that I can't correct you. We should be able to move as a unit together. You shouldn't be able to tell the difference from the outside, from the left, the right, the front, and the rear. We're all one unit. And the only way you're going to have a solid cemented structure if we hold each other accountable. And that's on every aspect. Everybody's playing their role. Everybody's moving the way they're supposed to be moving. And that starts with accountability and also love. You know, love. There's nothing wrong with telling your brother that, yo, I love you. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm concerned about you. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Why are you over here? Why are you doing this? I'm not telling you this to come down on me. I'm telling you because I love you. I don't want you to go down that path. And yes, sometimes it's a difficult conversation, even if you've been down that path before yourself, right? It doesn't mean that you're a hypocrite because you're telling your brother to do right because you did the same wrong that he did. No, I love you. And I don't want to see you make the same mistakes. So if you feel like I'm being tough on you, I'm being rough on you, I would rather you tell me and deal with me as opposed to somebody that just look the other way and that boy's out of it. No, let's go
Yeah,
get
like
him.
Abe always says, love is love, right?
Love is love. Love is love. And love should be felt. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's tough love. But regardless, you should feel it. And that's my 2024 is being sincere, being honest, and you know, finding more love, inshallah.
Inshallah. Well, I appreciate y'all, brother, my brothers, man, and as always, man, you know, the camaraderie that we have, man, and the things that we do together, you know, beyond the podcast or beyond sitting on here for 45 minutes and talking, you know, and the things, you know, like we talk about, you know, I appreciate the fact that, but I wanted to bring that to y'all. I was going to make that decision on my own, you know, asking y'all to, can we dedicate this season 3 to Pops? You know, I got his, actually got his hat back here. It's going to be, mounted up behind, you know, my head for the whole season, you know, going on YouTube.
And
So
that's one thing I want to say too, real quick too. Abby is very honest.
yeah,
Very honest, bro.
yeah,
Most honest people I've ever met in life.
he was
You understand? And he called it how you see it.
That's it.
I don't care who you are,
That's why I named the show
how
that.
big you are, where you from.
Right.
Hawk is
That's
hot,
a nice
right?
plug, B.
Right.
That's a
And
nice
he
plug.
called it how you see it, bro. And I think he left that in all of us.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a little intimidating, right? So we have to work on that as well, is our approach. Because though you may be right, you can be wrong because of your delivery. So just, you know, how you come across to others, to you, in your mind and your heart, you're correct because what you stand on. But to your audience, how you deliver that.
For sure. I remember one time he told me, and we looking at only a couple minutes, but I said, man, I said something. And I was like, man, I don't feel like doing it, or I ain't feel like doing something, or you know. And then I asked him, I said, man, how you want me to do this? How you want me? He said, I don't care what you do. You know, I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do it. I don't care this. He said, as long as you right, as long as you right. And he was like, man, you got to be right. So, like you said, he was honest, but he was always trying to. It was for the sake of being right. You know, for the Almighty's sake, and of course, you know, the Sunnah of Rasul Yakum. So,
So,
But I appreciate your brothers for coming on, man.
No problem, man. We
Appreciate your
appreciate
time.
you.
Yep.
Keep up the great work, man, with the People's Podcast. Staying
Definitely.
consistent. Season 3, that is an accomplishment, bro.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Inshallah, it'll be a big thing, man. Inshallah.
Looking
Appreciate it.
forward
We
to a
on
lot more.
anyway. Our teams ain't no good, so we ain't
Oh,
going
yeah.
to no playoffs or nothing like that.
Yep.
So we got time. Man, I look forward to seeing the sisters on here and the mothers on here and
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna get them on.
and
We're
the
gonna
nieces
definitely
and
get them
nephews
on.
on here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
gonna
get
be a crazy episode.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get them on. We're gonna get
Y'all
everybody
think we
on.
entertaining? Oh.
Oh man.
We are
But
very
all right,
entertaining.
man.
All right,
All
man.
right,
Running out
brother.
of time short. Appreciate y'all, man. Love is love, like Abe said.
Love is always love.
Oh,
Assalamu alaikum.
alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Alaikum.